Nintendo just had the biggest Mario Kart World update where they added a bunch of quality of life features and updated how online laps work. But before you celebrate, there's some stuff you gotta know about. So let's get right into it. But before we get into that, I am hosting a $70 eShop gift card giveaway. All you gotta do is comment down below on this video and be sure that you are subscribed. In the description down below is going to be a comment sheet that outlines all valid comments, as well as listing up some other rules and regulations. I wish you guys the best of luck, and thank you so much for the support on the recent videos. Let's get right into it. All right, so Mario Kart World got updated to 1.2.0, and is possibly the biggest update Mario Kart World got after the bad one. And if you guys don't know what happened during that update, I believe it was actually 1.1.0. They basically changed it to where online matches basically only have a 10% chance to getting 3-lap tracks. So when you hit random, you basically only get intermission courses, and then the selection that you do get would only be 3-lap tracks. Or sorry, would only have a 10% chance of being a 3-lap track. So this screen right here. This is actually from my video that I made on this update almost a month ago. But this update seemed to fix that, or so we thought. Let's go over some of the other stuff outlined in this update that gave some quality of life improvements to the game. And then we'll talk about what this means for Nintendo in the future. Cause it seems like they're listening, or actually. So a bunch of quality of life changes. Versus race of single player added a no comm option, as well as a mushrooms only in the item rules. So it's basically just a test of pure skill instead of the chaoticness of, Mario Kart, which I think is great. This is a really good option. It honestly makes me wonder if they're going to add the item selection like they did in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I think that could be a future content drop. You can now see the waiting time until the race or battle starts in online play. Honestly, I don't think this was really needed, but basically, if you see the bottom where it says you will join it, there's a little bar now that goes all the way across until the race starts. I mean, it's a nice visual cue, I guess. One big thing that I'm surprised that wasn't in the first game, the free roam map, after you gather all P-switches and question mark panels and Peach medallions, the colors of various numbers will now change to basically showcase how far you've collected in each of those, or how far you are in the collection of each of those, which I think is okay. I think there should just be a total of per region. I think that actually probably would have been the best, but yeah, well, I'll take it. I'll take it. One other thing, they made homing for Boomerang weaker. Honestly, I think this was a change that a lot of people were needing, and I was wondering when we'd get it. But the Boomerang itself seems like a really powerful item, and a lot of people were actually pushing for the Boomerang to have from 4 different tosses down to 3. But instead of doing that, Nintendo made the homing, because like the item itself has an inherent homing effect to it, even though it isn't really a homing item. But they basically lowered the aim assist for it, which I think is pretty fair, especially it's basically 4 different green shells in one. They decreased the probability of getting a triple dash mushroom in low position whenever the item rules in a race are anything other than frantic. And then same thing for changing it for question block and making higher positions easier to get the question block. I think both of these are genuinely good changes. I think everyone agrees that bagging in the game needs to change. I mean, I think bagging will basically follow any Mario Kart. It's just going to be a strategy. It's the way the game is fundamentally designed. So I don't really think that there's really any way you could get rid of it now that all the key features are in place. I think they were in the right direction when it came to lightning, that it's only every character that's in front of you. But yeah, you still have people that could do absolute cuts and carry really heavy items to the first place. But it's good to know that they're actively knowing what the people are doing and trying to stop it. I think trying to fish for items, I think that's what people call it, is semi-nerfed, but it's not going to be gone. It's never going to be completely gone. Same thing with the question mark block. I think this was a really great item that was added, But it may seem like a small change, but it is in fact a pretty big one, because after people have been playing it, they've noticed that the question mark block now appears in first place item rotation. And I don't think that was ever the case before, which now means that double question mark blocks do not guarantee any sort of protection. Because I think before you could get either a banana or a coin, and then now it's literally banana, coin, question mark block. And the thing with the question mark block, yes, it gives you coins, but it also supports, everyone behind you for also getting coins. Because yes, you get coins, but the people behind you get a lot more. And I think that's just good game design. It's a good catch-up mechanic. But yeah, it's a little unfortunate that now in first place, there isn't a guarantee way to get blocking, and could lead to the idea that Mario Kart World isn't a skill-based game. But I don't think it's that crazy, but it is an effect to take note of. And then lastly, probably the biggest thing that everyone is hyping up, increase the frequency of lap type courses appearing in the selection when choosing the next course in versus race and wireless race. And yes, this was the big thing that everyone hated on the first update, and everyone still hates. Right now, the solution to this problem is to go into a Discord server and do lobbies that way. And I think it's a decent solution, but I think all of us want a classic mode or something to be put into the game to basically just make it less of a hassle for us. But it honestly isn't that great. Of course, what we want is 100% 3-lap tracks when we want to play 3-lap tracks. But right now, it seems like it's maybe a 40%. I'm going to guess 50% chance to get a 3-lap track option when in an online race. I get this data from multiple people, specifically TD98 as well as Oatmeal Dome played around like 10 tracks. And this is just the overall sentiment that everyone's playing. So they play around 10 tracks, and then random, every time they pick random, it was always intermission. And occasionally, out of the 3 options they see on screen, they would get one option that is a non-intermission. And to be honest, I think the way that they could solve it without like changing too much, without adding a whole nother mode, would to be just this. There's always going to be 2 different intermission, and there's always going to be one 3-lap track. But the problem is it's only about 40 to 50% of the time that you're going to get that option for a 3-lap track. See, here's another option from the same YouTuber, Whistles Top Summit, Mario Bros. Circuit. And I like this approach. This approach isn't bad if it was 100% of the time. And that again, it seems like random. It is just 100% now intermission regardless. Intermission from the point that you're at. So yeah, it isn't as great as we hoped. I guess some closing statements. Does this fix Mario Kart World? I don't think so. I think people are still playing on Discord lobbies, which is fine. I mean, they could do what they do. And is it just me, or does it kind of feel like the online lobbies are a little empty? I played a little bit on stream. I think it was about 4 days ago before this update, and it was a little rough. Like, I mean, maybe just because I played Mario Kart World a lot when the game first came out, and of course the lobbies were filling up like crazy. But right now it seems like it only caps at about 12, and then the rest are filled with computers. So I don't know what that means for the life of the game. I definitely do know just, overall life cycle of games. You're going to have your average dedicated player base. And then, whenever there's a big update, it'll spike and then it'll go back down. I think that's just where Mario Kart is right now. I don't think this whole 3-lap track debacle is helping at all. But I do hope we're going to get a bigger update. So we got this announcement actually right before a day before the announcement of the Nintendo Partner Showcase. And I think after this announcement kind of came out, I kind of assumed that we would get a Partner Showcase instead of a Direct the day after. Just a random side tangent. I do think we're getting big updates for this game, but that'll probably get revealed in the next Direct, whether that be in August or September. I'm thinking like we're 100% getting a September Direct, and that's where we'll get the next DLC for Mario Kart World. It also could just be a Nintendo Today drop. But when they do those types of content drops, I do think they would do bigger changes, like adding a completely new mode. Because they didn't even do any announcements when it comes to these updates. And for them to do, add a whole classic mode, it would have to be alongside an announcement. I still enjoy it. One other thing they did do is lower the difficulty of computers, which I think wasn't really needed, but needed in knockout tours. Like if you're doing single player play Grand Prix and knockout tours and versus races, they lowered the difficulty of all of them. And, you know, after 3-starring them with the hard computers, I don't know. I think it was desperately needed in knockout tour because that was kind of difficult, but, you know, Grand Prix and everything were just kind of solid and easy. But yeah, I think that basically kind of concludes everything. Are you planning to still play Mario Kart World? I mean, I'm not going to drop the game. I think this game is fun, but it's just a little unfortunate when it comes to the way that we want to play. I want that flexibility to do 3-lap tracks if I want to, Nintendo. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye. Thank you, Evan and Jesus, for being channel members.